How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, back in the fly lab, ready to have some fun. The trout are hungry. They are eating aggressively. It's time to start feeding them, maybe with some pickier selections. So grab your tools, grab your vise, and let's have some fun. As we get into this little trout catching nymph, let's talk about what's in the vise. Today we've got the Ahrex FW541 in a size 10. For the bead, this is the Plummeting Tungsten bead from Hareline, and this is a 1/8 inch bead in gold, and I've got 5 wraps of 0.020 lead-free wire right behind that bead to hold it in place. As I get some thread going here, I've got some 6/0 dark brown, 140 of coarse brown would work just fine. Black would be good. Whatever you got handy is probably okay. Just gonna put some wraps over those weighted wires, make sure nothing's gonna move or spin on us. Then I'm gonna creep down this hook shank. One thing I do want to mention on a curved nymph hook like this, it's easy to get excited and start utilizing all this curve portion of the hook. I get it. I get excited like that too and go, man, there's a lot of available space. We should probably use it. Sometimes that's great. Sometimes that's not. What I want you to get in the practice of this. Look at the down portion of that eye and then sort of line it up with the rest of that hook. To me, this body should play in that area and not drop too far below that parallel point. Having said that, now I'm going to make a little bump here where we ended our thread wraps, and this is of course going to be for a little bit of tail material that we want to splay out. So if you're thinking in terms of like a copper john, which is, this shares a lot with a copper john, it's very similar, but we're not going to use biots today. I've got some Spawn Super Select Gadwall, and this is dyed gold. And so I'm going to peel off a section of these fibers. And at this point, like you can see, that's a lot of tail. So I don't need quite that much, maybe half of that, let's say. And then all I need to do from there is get a measure. I'm going for roughly the body length, not the whole hook length, just the body length. And that'll do it. I'm going to transfer that grip to my left hand. And now we'll use that bump to meet up where we decided the length of our tail should be. I'm not going to let go until I've got those tied in against that bump. And once we've got that tied in against the bump, you can see those fibers are just a little clingy, but that's okay. They're still going to splay enough for us. And then I'm going to tie down the butt section until it gets up to those weighted wires and simply trim at that point. And the idea here being we want to, of course, make this the most even underbody we possibly can, and that's part of that whole deal. Come in, sort of lift and refresh where those fibers come off for the tail. Thin it out if you need to, but to me that's pretty buggy, and that's what we are looking for. This fly, I've called it a couple different names as I've tied it through the years, but my favorite name for it was the Overkill, and so that's the name I'm going to stick with for now. And I've got some wire here, and it looks like I bumped one of these wires off of my table somehow. I can't imagine how that would possibly happen. So we'll just cut another wire, and then we'll tie these bad boys in all together. So I'm sure by now you've seen plenty of flies tied wire body style, highly successful because it just immediately gives you a segmented body look. But then of course you've got the bounce of light and all that, so it's a great combo. I don't know if you can see this completely. I've got 3 wires here. I've got gold, copper brown, and black, all size small. I'm going to just get these started on top, and I want to make sure one thing that I don't crisscross after I've got them tied in. So it doesn't matter the order that they sit. All that matters is that you don't let them twist after you've got it tied in. So let me just get a couple loose wraps. I'm going to pull back on these ever so slightly until they get right there, right behind that weighted wire. And now I'm going to tie these things all the way down to where our tail is. Before I get too crazy, I'm going to lift these wires so that they're all standing perpendicular to the hook shank as I'm applying downward pressure on my thread. And this is pretty key. If you're having trouble tying really clean wire bodies, that's your little tip for the day. Prop that up perpendicular to the hook shank, and then as you begin your wraps, there's not going to be this push forward of your thread because it was laying down when you started. So forgive me for 1 second here. I just got to get these wires started, and maybe a couple wraps. I want to make sure I've got really good placement, and then from here I can just sort of work my way up, maintaining steady pressure on all 3 wires. And it's a little tricky for me to be able to see because of where I'm sitting, and that would be much more involved, if you will, up close and personal when I'm tying these, you know, at home for my own fly box, whatever it might be. However, you get the idea, and you can see the beautiful segmentation that this technique offers. And on top of that, it happens to be in some really fish catching colors. That's it. That's all I need. So you see I tied right up to where that weighted wire ends, and that's a thing of beauty right there. Just going to solidify these wires. I'll even get in front of it. Why not? Get my wire cutting scissor, right? Get rid of all that. And now just make sure that these ends are mashed down. Don't want any busted thread simply because we left the pointy end of a cut wire. Nothing to it. At this point, let's talk about one of my favorite products that we finally brought in here at Spawn. And this is the Opal Mirage Tinsel. And this is size large. This is amazing stuff. Very dense. It's not nearly as translucent as some other flash and tinsel. I like that quality, especially for what we're going to do. We're going to use it here to highlight a wing case that is starting to break and open, and let those fish know, hey, there's a vulnerable bug right there. You should probably eat it. So I'm just going to tie that in right on top there. And then I'm going to come through with some thin skin, and I've got some clear speckled black for the thin skin, and that's just going to provide our wing case. And yes, got a little crayon tip sort of cut in there, come right on top of that Opal Mirage tinsel. As far as size on this, I cut it so that it's, you know, right around the same width as the bead up front. Don't want to get too crazy, too big, and it looks funny. Too small, it looks funny. So just go off of that bead size and go pretty close to that. At this point, we are going to do a couple things. We're going to dub this thorax. We're going to use some fibers that match up with the tail for the little legs and wings. But we're also going to add some CDC so that when this thing is wet, it is going to have that clingy look of a hatching bug, an emerger, so to speak, and all that goodness is just a fun bug. And I told you it's called the Overkill. So you could get by with 2/3 of the material, but for some reason when you fish it all together, like, you just catch everything that's swimming in there. And do have some CDC. This is from Hareline, and this is Wood Duck Gold CDC. And I'm just going to trim out those little butt ends. So as you see, I tied it so that the outer side, or that convex side, is facing the hook shank and the concave facing up. So as we wrap, it'll all flow to the back. Let's get into this dubbed thorax, shall we? Look at here, got some Spawn dub. This is one of my new faves. I use this in a lot of my personal bugs. And this is the bronze butter. So I'm just going to get a small amount dubbed on here, pretty tight. I'm not too concerned that it's exactly flat and no spikiness. I don't mind if there's a little bit of spikiness, because again, this is a thorax of a somewhat hatching bug. So it doesn't have to be the cleanest as far as that, you know, no fuzzy look. This can be fuzzy. Go ahead and slick that right on up. We're going to make a double pass. So we're going to go front to back and then reverse that and cover back, front to back. So here's our first pass, keeping in mind we're looking for roughly a 1/3 area on that thorax. I'm going to have a little too much dubbing there. Don't need quite that much. There we go. Pick some of that off and then make our way up front. At this point, let me get back into this Gadwall. And you can make this as precise as you want. Absolutely, you could come in and wrap it. You could cut a V in there and do all that good stuff. I'm just going to go in for a small section of these fibers, and I'm going to hold these up so that the legs, if you will, reach to the back side of that body. Let me get some loose wraps, position exactly where I want those legs. I'll show you. There, bingo. And now one really strong wrap, and we'll switch it over to your side. So I'm going to do my best to grab a matching amount of leg and wing material, like so. And then again, simply match up to, I don't like that long fiber. I'll get rid of that guy. There we go. Match this up to the end of the body, just like we did on my side. A little pinch with the offhand and get it on there. Once it's on, position, make sure they line up and match both sides. And if they do, which is, there we go. Now I can go ahead and solidify that final couple wraps, and we can safely trim out the butt ends here of that Gadwall. And if you don't have Gadwall, would any other feather work? Yes, of course. You could do partridge, you could do mallard, you could do whatever feather you happen to have. If all you have is some hackle, by all means grab it. Put some legs in there. All right. Now we've got this feather here that we tied in previously. CDC. I'm just going to take that now and get a couple turns. Don't need a ton, just enough so that when it's in the water, I do want that clingy look from the CDC, and this will do it. Go ahead and get that tied in really securely, and then get our thread in front, and we'll just pop this quilt out like so. At this point, you can see just how buggy this thing is becoming. And so what will happen is the CDC will get wet and it will cling to the sides. The Gadwall will poke through like the legs trying to get out. It's going to look like a hot mess. I can assure you the fish love it. They lose all inhibition and just go for it. Let's bring that thin skin over as our wing case. Be mindful though of those fibers from the CDC and all that. Don't want those to get too out of whack and go awry. And now, watch this puppy. This is our little bit of Opal Mirage. What a great tinsel. And there we go. So that's just going to sit in the middle there of our thin skin and call that good. Now I can go ahead and trim this thin skin out. We are done with it. And if there's a little lip there, again, I don't mind that too much because it's going to prevent any slippage on the whatever's underneath it. So like sometimes that's a little safeguard. But before I trim the tinsel out, I do want to just bring it over itself and get a little grab there. And now I can sleep easier knowing I'll seal this all with a little shot of resin and nothing's going to pop loose on that. So it is time for a whip finish. Let's get this thing go on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good enough. Slick that right out. Clean cut. And that's buggy as all get out, folks. All right. One last thing here. I told you we get that resin going. Hopefully you can see all this bugginess that's going on here. Look at that thing. scratchy, itchy. Like that's what I want a searching nymph to be. Especially right now with mayflies everywhere, like this, the timing couldn't be better. For the resin, I've got a little UV clear fly finish here from Loon. And let me just get a little dab going. And so instead of using head cement and resin, I'll just cover all the thread wraps with a very thin, and I mean ultra thin layer of this resin. Because as it touches, it's just going to start soaking in right away, and it will travel with the thread wraps. So I don't need to double down on the gluing system, if you will. Just need to go ahead and get it all done. So on top of this wing case now, I'm going to cover that Mirage tinsel with a little bit of this resin. And if a little bit drips off the backside onto the top of the wires, all the better. Watch your eyes for a second, folks. Coming in hot. We're just going to cure this up with our little torch here. Little Loon UV torch. Make sure we get that all the way around. And there you have it. The Overkill Nymph. Great for any water that has trout and you don't know exactly what might be hatching. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Tie this on, toss it out there, and you'll find the fish. I got one little nugget there. There we go. Voila. Thing of beauty, the Overkill. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I always have fun tying with you. If you did have fun though, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will see you all on the water.